Hello, I'm Alexander Gallegos, and I'm here with Jesus Cisneros Estrada and Connor Bowering, and we are going to talk about three families today. The first family that we are going to talk about is the Doe family. Alex and Felicia Doe live in Monrovia, Liberia, with their five children, ages 3 to 20, of which the two youngest are adopted. They're both fishermen, which nets them about $87 for their monthly income, of which about 80% is spent on food. They also plan to buy land in the future, but are currently not saving any money. The Doe family has lived in their house for 12 years now. They have separate rooms for their parents and the children, with the parents' room containing the only bed. The house itself is made of tin roofing, as well as drywall and wood walls, and a plastic flooring. The Doe family also has a bathroom area shown in the left picture. This area of the house is slightly caved in and used for bathing and other functions, except for actually going to the bathroom. There's a separate outhouse shared by multiple families outside of the home that is used by everyone in the neighborhood, shown on the right. The house they do live in has access to electricity, and they use said electricity to power a light in their living room, as well as other electronics that they do own. This electricity, however, is not reliable, and so they use a stove powered by charcoal to cook. As for water, their main source of water comes from street vendors, as they do not have their own source of water. The Doe family uses sandals for their everyday footwear, as shown in the left picture, but for more formal footwear is more nicer, higher quality sandals, shown on the right. They do not have closed-toed shoes and use sandals because they are very inexpensive. The Doe family does have access to a lot of amenities for maintaining their hygiene, including toothbrushes and toothpaste, soap, laundry detergent, and some medicines. These are all used within the bathroom area in the house, and they also have a small, skinny pet dog, which does have access to his own heartworm medication. Because of their access to electricity, the Doe family does have access to some technology for entertainment, notably a TV as well as a cell phone, but they also have access to things like fans and irons for household functions. However, the electricity is not reliable, so these are only able to be used whenever the electricity is actually on.
Meet the Penalosa family. Maria Elena is a single mother of 7 children. Her 2 eldest are teenagers who are in the workforce, and the rest of her children are school-aged or nursing, and they will work until they reach an employable age. For the last 5 years, the Penalosa family has lived in a 1-bedroom house that they had help from family and friends. They have not had to pay rent, and as you can see from the pictures, their home uses the ruins of a building and a wall, and it stands as a temporary structure that is held together with sheets, rope, and wooden planks. Because there is no waste systems, we see that their water is contaminated from their own waste, and it leaves the water undrinkable and even unable to be used for any reason. In order to have safe drinking water, they have to travel 7 hours every week to have potable water. In addition to their bedroom, we see that they have a second space that they use as their restroom. They use a white sheet to add a level of privacy, which is a luxury that many other families within the same range of income do not have. The remaining pictures show the adaptability of the Penalosa family, as they become accustomed to using the same bowl to wash their hands, dishes, and even shower. Without running water, proper medical infrastructure, and also having low wages, families like our Penalosa family are more likely to contract diseases due to greater exposure to bacteria, hazardous water, and even the difficulty of purchasing new, clean products. Additionally, it leads them to struggle with obtaining good quality medicines and healthcare that could help reduce the likelihood of illness and premature death. In order to cook their meals, the Penalosa family has to travel and collect wood for 14 hours every week, and that's not even all the labor they do. Maria Elena and Josie, her 13-year-old daughter, work as a laundry worker and a babysitter respectively. They work for a combined total of 74 hours a week in order to obtain their monthly wage of $87. They end up spending about 90% of their money on food and milk alone and are rarely able to save any money. With the money that they have been able to save, they've invested in some things that make life a little easier. As we've mentioned in class, the majority of the world has some kind of telecommunications access, and the Penalosa family is no exception. Other items that our family has that are their favorite possessions include a fan, which is very helpful in the Manila climate as its average weather is 90 degrees, and also the favorite toy, which is shared by the many children who it brings joy to. And lastly, we see that the Penalosa family has electricity like many other families, but it is unsafe and unreliable as well.
This is a Mandal family of Dhaka, Bangladesh. They live off $86 a month that the father, Jamaluddin, makes from farming 70 hours a week at a separate plot that the family owns. The mother Shapla stays at home and raises her two children, daughter Janatul and son Zubar, who are students. Their grandmother also lives in their home. This is the Mandal's family home that they lived in for 16 years. It's a temporary structure made of straw walls and a tin roof, and it has concrete floors. Two of the three small bedrooms are pictured here. You can see mosquito nets over the bed to help protect against the mosquitoes that can get in through gaps in the roof. This is their backyard. First is their bathroom, a shallow pit latrine with straw privacy walls. They use a plastic loda in the top right corner to clean themselves. Next is their water pump where they get all of their water for consumption, cooking, and cleaning. We can also see their clothesline that they use to dry their linen and clothes. Finally, there's a section of the backyard that they use for garbage because there isn't a service to pick it up. Here are the family's toiletries. They have a single damage cone that they share. They have the travel-size shampoo packages that they use, a single tube of toothpaste that they also share. They have medicine, which is down to the last few drops and has likely been heavily rationed given the high cost of the family. The family has a share bar of soap that they use for hand washing. Lastly, the family has 3 toothbrushes with worn-down bristles. Given what we see, it's likely that self-care items are very expensive for the family, but they're able to afford these items to maintain their cleanliness. Here's the family's kitchen. In the middle of the photo, we see an open pit stove with a silver pot on top. They normally burn wood or other fuel in the stove, and they use it to cook. In the next photos, we see their diet. Top left shows the spices that they use to season their food. Most importantly, they have iodized salt, which helps prevent iodine deficiency. And we also see fruits and vegetables that they use. Finally, rice is shown as a major staple food that consistently makes up a large part of their diet. Next, we have the family shoes. On the left, we see their daily shoes, a worn pair of flip-flops. On the right is their nicest pair of shoes, a pair of women's black sandals. Flip-flops are very inexpensive and are open-toed, which is nice for hot climates like the one found in Bangladesh. Next, we have a look into the lives of the family's children. First is Zubar, who has a black mark on the right side of his teeth from tooth decay. So even though he brushes, this shows that because they don't have money for dentistry and other health care, he's able to have this happen to him. Next, his favorite toy is a heavily damaged soccer ball, which shows that the family doesn't have money for leisure spending. On the top right is the family's pet kitten who's underfed, likely due to food scarcity faced by the family itself. Finally, the bottom row shows the children's schoolwork, books, and pens. This shows that the children are literate and spend time in school. Here are the modern items the family has access to. They have a cell phone that they can use to call and text their family and friends. They have some electricity, although the wiring is unsafe and the availability is limited. They only have a single light fixture within the home. Finally, shown right, the family has their prized possession, their motorbike that allows them to travel to work and into town quickly. Now that we've looked at all 3 families, we can note a few similarities between them. They all have cell phones available. They all have electricity, but it's unstable and limitedly available. They have open burning stoves. They have to dishwash and shower with buckets outside. They only have a few basic amenities like soap and toothpaste. Their food mainly consists of vegetables and staple foods like rice. And their shoes are primarily open-toed because they're so cheap.
Our families also do have some key differences. For example, some of our families have access to TV and other forms of entertainment, while others don't. Their water comes from wildly different sources. These books are not shared between all of the families. Some families have small gardens and some families do not. And the bathroom facilities that each family uses are very unique. Some families have private restrooms, while some of them are communal and shared with other members.
With all of our families, we saw that their dreams laid with the desire to one day possess capital that would allow them to have a greater access to security, education, and the resources they need in order for personal and economic growth. We hope that you have come to resonate with our families and understand how they live with their budget and how it changes across nationality.